Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. I recently chose to quit caffeine, not for the first time, again, and thanks in part to this book, Caffeine Blues, by Stefan Chernisky. I previously did a review of this book on my channel, so if you want to see the older video where I did a review of that, I'm not going to be so much doing a review of the book right now, but I reread the book recently, and I had quit caffeine a number of years ago when I was in Mexico, and I remember at that time I had no stress. I didn't have a job, I didn't really have anything to do, so quitting caffeine seemed pretty easy at that time. There wasn't a whole lot holding me back. Recently, I decided to quit caffeine again, and the reason for that being is one psychologist who I follow on YouTube, Dr. Scott Ehlers, said that caffeine can contribute to or exacerbate problems related to depression. I've suffered from depression all my life. Depression might sound like a very strange motivation for quitting caffeine, but caffeine can affect and interfere with sleep. So I'm going to talk about my experiences 1 month out after having quit caffeine, and some of what that process was like. What were the withdrawals? How did that feel? How do I feel now? How has my routine changed? Things like that I'll be talking about. But just to give some background, I am a coffee lover. I'm living here in Colombia. Check out the gorgeous view that I have on the porch here. I love going out here to watch the sunset. Now today it looks pretty cloudy, so and maybe we'll be able to see some of those colors in the sunset later on in the video. But Colombia is one of the best coffee producers in the world, in my opinion. Other countries like Brazil might produce more, but I really think, especially in the United States, Colombia's got the reputation for phenomenal coffee, and it's earned. And living here in Colombia, I took full advantage of that. If you want a coffee recommendation, one of the best brands that I've had here in Colombia is called Mesa de los Santos, and that is a phenomenal high-quality coffee. But my love for coffee became a bit of a vice. I was drinking at least 3 or 4 cups a day of coffee, aside from drinking caffeinated teas and so on and so forth, and no matter how much coffee I was drinking, I just never felt like I was just fully at 100%. And so for anyone who's curious as to why somebody might feel that way, the doctor who wrote this book, it goes into some of the science behind that. But essentially, drinking coffee is kind of like, if you can imagine a jockey on a racehorse, and the jockey is whipping the horse. Now, whipping the horse does not give the horse energy. It might give a motivation to the horse, but it doesn't give it energy in the same way that the horse eating carrots would be ingesting the energy. So caffeine works very much the same way in our body. Caffeine in and of itself does not have any nutritional value and is not necessary for us. No one has ever died of a caffeine deficiency. I'm sure some people may guffaw and make jokes about how they might kill someone if they don't get their coffee, but no one has ever died from a lack of coffee. The withdrawals are pretty intense from caffeine, but the idea that coffee or tea or any other form of caffeine ingestion gives you energy is a myth, and the caffeine it's more accurate to say that it depletes the reserves of the energy that you have within your body, rather than saying that it gives you energy. So similar to the jockey whipping a racehorse, your body is in this fully alert, aware mode as a result of drinking caffeine, but that is not healthy to remain in that, and that causes a lot of stress to your body. And if you want the science behind that, do read the book. Now, I was more interested in how that might relate to depression. Now, the title of the book is Caffeine Blues, and that was what drew me to the title many years ago. Did quitting caffeine cure my depression? No, my issues in life are much more large, more existential than just whether I was drinking too much caffeine or not. So I'm not going to bore you with the different things that have been keeping me down recently. Do keep me in your prayers. But I felt led to share this because if you're consuming caffeine, caffeine is one of the many, many addictive substances that are out there that keeps you tied into the system and reduces the awareness that the Father gave you, which is a sober awareness that does not need any extra drugs or chemicals. And in fact, those drugs and chemicals can interfere with your spiritual well-being. I really think that these drugs like caffeine and so forth, our body was not designed to be always functioning on overdrive. Anyways, going back to my experience with that, I had hoped that caffeine would improve my mood, and a lot of people who suffer from depression tend to drink lots of coffee and other things like that, and caffeine does hit on those dopamine sensors in the brain, and so it does release dopamine to drink it. It feels good, and if someone's depressed, they're probably more likely to get addicted to caffeine. But in any case, after quitting caffeine, I had just horrible withdrawals. If you want to quit caffeine more smoothly, you can taper down from whatever you're drinking. So as I was drinking 4 cups, I could have gone down 3, 2, 1, 0. I got to a point where I just decided, okay, it's time to pull the plug, and I quit like that. So I had really intense headaches. I took some medicine for headaches, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, all sorts of things like that. But those symptoms went away within about a week or so. I think the brain fog might have lasted a little bit longer than that, but now about a month or so out without consuming any caffeine whatsoever, I wake up and really I only feel groggy for a couple minutes. I'll drink an herbal tea, no caffeine, just an herbal tea, or eat some fruit, and usually by the time I get myself hydrated in the morning, doesn't take long, then I'm feeling fine and ready to start my day in less time than it took for me to drink my coffee in the past. So over time, your body does adjust to not having any caffeine in your system, and it's not as necessary to functioning in daily life as a lot of people like to joke. Now, once you get past that initial maybe week or two, a lot of those symptoms related to quitting caffeine go away. Your body stabilizes, and your energy level is going to reflect the actual amount of energy. So it's not going to be like the jockey on a racehorse that's whipping it. It's not like your system is being whipped into depleting its reserves of energy. It's going to be a more natural level of energy, which is attuned to what your body and mind can handle. So the adjustment happens a lot faster than you might expect. And I do think overall the quality of my sleep has improved. And caffeine is a diuretic, and so this can cause dehydration. I'm not sure how much that may or may not affect me, but in any case, that can have serious consequences for some individuals. And I think just drinking water, drinking herbal teas, it seems maybe like it might be difficult. I know if I had made this video for myself before quitting, I might have scoffed at it and said that that's not possible, but your body does just adjust, and you feel perfectly fine without caffeine once you've been without it for a while. And so the only difficulty might be that immediate withdrawal period. And I do wake up feeling a little bit more rested. Has that made a huge difference? Has that solved my depression? Not really. I still often find myself just facing the same problems, the dissatisfactions with life that I've felt for quite a while now. And I've suffered from depression since I was in childhood. So I might have quit for an unusual reason, and one not necessarily directly related to caffeine, but brothers and sisters, for those of you who are consuming caffeine, do consider that any addictive substance is keeping you into the earthly satanic systems. You do not need caffeine to survive. The Father, yes, made plants that include caffeine, and on special occasions maybe it's fair to enjoy that, but I do not think it should be something that is consumed daily, and for my part, I'm just choosing to abstain completely, because now that I'm without it, at least as far as my body's energy levels are concerned, as far as my sleep is concerned, I'm feeling better. So I don't intend to go back to caffeine. Now, go see the original video that I did a number of years ago about caffeine blues. At that time, I did quit and stay away from caffeine for, I think it was maybe 2 months or so at that time, and I went back to it. I don't remember exactly why I went back to it, but in this case, seeing the difference, it really, I don't understand why people would be paying money for a drug that actually makes you feel worse. So if this is helpful to you, brothers and sisters, do please leave a comment and let me know. And as for me right now, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this sunset, maybe a little bit of a cloudy sunset. But in any case, shalom, brothers and sisters. Take care.